Okay, what's up, bro? You want to turn your camera? We never have the camera on. We just always do the voice thing.
I can't do. My internet is so fucking dog shit right now. Tomorrow I'll have real internet. Okay.
Okay, what's up with you though?
Yeah, damn. So I looked a little bit more into the Andrew Tate shit. It looks pretty rough. I'm gonna be honest.
What, the lover boy thing, whatever?
Yeah.
What about it looks rough?
Well, kind of seems like he kind of sort of admitted to doing it all. The
Having
lover boy
cameras?
thing. That he would get girls, get them in love with him, get them entrapped into business, steal money from them, make them work for him.
Steal money?
And then
No, they got their pay cut.
Yeah, their cut was, but he stole from them. He literally admits in the video, he talks about how you can lie about how much taxes you're paying on behalf of them to steal like a bigger cut than what they're aware of because they're too stupid to figure it out otherwise.
What law is that breaking? That's not human trafficking.
That if I tell you to pay something and I lie to you about it, well, my guess is probably
That's
something
not
to do
what he
with
did.
theft.
That's not what I'm saying. What law are you accusing of Andrew Tate?
Well, my guess is it's going to be some
breaking.
form of theft or fraud. That'd be my guess.
You're not accusing him of human trafficking.
Well, no. That's just one part of the human trafficking, was the theft and fraud. The human trafficking part is when he ropes girls into his organization with the only intention of getting them to be cam girls for free. And then I think some of the accusations are he uses physical intimidation or violence to get them hooked onto whatever program so that they feel like they can't leave.
The lover boy method is not physical intimidation and violence. It's that...
I'm not talking about just the lover boy method. That was one of the accusations that the Romanian police
of manipulating them with love. Like these girls fall in love with them and then they don't know how to leave and they're just kind of confused and manipulated by love.
Sure. So one, that would already be illegal. But two, I'm almost positive that in the press
illegal
release,
to make girls fall in love with you?
for the express purpose of bringing them back to another country to make them work as cam girls, yes. It's called sex trafficking.
That's not sex trafficking.
That's called pimping, yes.
You never had a girl fall in love with you?
So this was my prediction, and you're falling into this because you're a bot. I know the programming, right? So my prediction was that first he would get accused of this, and then you guys would come out and say, no, that would never happen. But the next step, when you start to realize what he's being accused of, is you would all go, oh, okay, well, that did happen, but it's not a big deal. And I think that's going to be your line throughout all of it. Is you're going to say, okay, yeah, okay, sure, he made girls fall in love with them. Sure, he brought them over. You're going to say things as dumb as like, yeah, maybe he stole from them by lying about their taxes, but is that even a crime? Which is insane.
Okay, so, but you're accusing him of very different crimes. Which one are you accusing him of?
Well, hold on. I'm just reading the press release from
Which one do you think that he's going to go down for? Like, do you genuinely think that he's a human trafficker?
Yes. Well, assuming if what he said was true, 100% yes. But I don't know how much he might just like ham up for YouTube or not. But if everything he said on the YouTube was true, on his YouTube videos, then 100%, yeah, he's a sex trafficker, of course.
Okay. This is a new definition of sex trafficking because they willingly were there. They were working. They had cameras everywhere. They could have left.
What do you think willingly means? And no, they weren't able to leave because they were forced to perform.
A lot of them were encouraged to leave if they weren't abiding, if they weren't listening or they weren't being obedient. A lot of them just had to leave.
The allegations were under threat of violence. My dude,
all these podcasts saying that they could leave whenever they wanted to.
What does threat of violence mean to you, my dude?
When did he threaten to hurt them?
I don't know when, but that was part of the public release, the press release. They were later forced to perform in pornographic content under threat of violence.
No, there was no threat of violence. The one instance that I know you're
talking
about.
How do you know?
Because the one instance that I know that he talked about in a podcast was when one girl threw
Why
up.
the fuck would I care what he said?
I'm answering something. Okay, so I'm responding to my dude, the threat of violence. The one thing that he talked about on a podcast was that a girl threw up in the apartment and she didn't want to clean it up. And so he threw her stuff out the window when she wouldn't leave. Any girl who wasn't abiding by the rules was encouraged to leave. They were never held there against their will.
Okay, so then this threat of violence thing is just totally made up then. You're saying the Romanian authorities are lying.
Maybe that's what they're trying to get him for, but there was no threat of violence. Not anything that he said on camera or anything like that, no.
Okay, because he told you, and he's a good guy. He would never lie, right? Criminals never lie about, like, the criminal things they do, yeah?
Well, I've spoken to him, the stuff he's talking about on camera. What are you talking about? Are you talking about stuff he said on podcasts, or like what are you going off of?
Well, in terms of him describing how
that's a really big accusation. What are you citing that he threatened to hurt them?
I'm citing the Romanian authority press release. They were forced to perform in pornographic content under threat of violence. That's what the statement alleged.
Okay, and where do you see the threat of violence?
I don't. I'm not the prosecutor.
75 girls and then 2 guys, Andrew and Tristan, and all of them, 75 girls, are scared of violence. How do you keep 75 girls in line with the threat of violence at the same? They were in love. There's no threat of violence. How do you? They could have an uprising if they wanted to.
Do you want to put money on this?
Money on what?
The $100 that there was absolutely no threat of violence. So you know that 100%. Because there's no way that you can know that, right? You're saying that like he's my friend or whatever, but you don't know that. You don't have access to the same data that the prosecutors have access to.
How do you threaten 75 women at the same time?
Very easily with 5 large men. Why are you acting like an SJW now? Are you fucking retarded?
What 5 large men are you talking about?
Anybody. You could hire security. You have 75 girls that all weigh, 110 pounds? How many girls do you think it would take to take down Andrew Tate? How many could he take at once? You think 3 women are taking down Andrew Tate, the guy that was a fucking kickboxer?
Okay.
Right? Or they hire like 2 or 3 security?
I want to hear you say that. I want to hear you say that.
Give me a number. I want you to give me a number. How many men, how much security would they have to hire to take into account that they need 75 women to work under?
So now you're accusing the security of...
No, I want to hear a number. I'm not moving on from this point. I want you to give me a number. I want to hear the SJW... I want to hear the SJW Sneako tell me how many men would it take to keep 75 women working. I want to hear that number.
Under the threat of violence?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm not a sex trafficker.
No, I just want to hear. I just want to estimate. Take a guess.
To threaten 75 women with violence?
Yeah.
That against their will? And they can't
That's
leave.
Usually, why you would threaten with violence is because it's probably going to be against their will.
And they can't go home and just go. You think that every single day?
Well, if they could go home, it wouldn't really be sex trafficking, would it be?
They can't go home, and every single day they're being held there against their will. They're not happy. They're just constantly working. They're on camera, so unhappy and so scared that they're still able to smile and chat and be a nice place for these simps to go and talk to women online. These women who are so manipulated are still able to talk in front of a camera. You've
never heard of somebody who's like severely depressed, puts on a smile, kills themselves the next day? You've never heard of somebody in an abusive relationship that outwardly...
Every single day.
Okay, I just want to hear a number. What's the number? I want to hear the number. I want to hear the number. Give me the number.
I don't know the number, Destiny. I don't know the number.
Oh my God. You're being an SJW right now.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You have blue hair.
No, this is the scenario that was. I know, and you're more of an SJW than me right now because you're talking about how strong women are. Oh yeah, like 75 women, they could easily overpower and rise up. Bro, how many slave owners were there to slaves in the United States for over 100 years? Right? What do you mean?
That they had security for these women. Where are you making this up?
I don't know if they did.
So if you don't know, then why am I answering your scenario that has nothing to do with the papers that you read from the Romanian government?
Because you're acting incredulous that they could be held there under threat of violence, and I'm curious where that incredulity comes from. Where you're like, no, impossible.
I can answer that if there were armed guards and they were blocking the doors with their bodies, and that these girls weren't actually in love and weren't willingly doing this, then yes, I can answer your question. But I'm not going to go and try to put more dirt on the name right now when everybody with blue hair is attacking them. It's not dirt on the name.
This is shit that he said. He was fucking retarded enough to state all this shit publicly. He outs himself as a sex trafficker on his fucking YouTube, and now you're saying that like this is attacking him?
That's not what a sex trafficker is. This is like being an OnlyFans pimp. This is a common thing nowadays.
An OnlyFans pimp? Bro, when you're flying women to other countries to put them in a basement to work for you, that's fucking sex trafficking. Okay, what do you think sex trafficking is?
Do you think these women were there, like flew there unwillingly, or do they actually love? Do they actually?
I don't think they loved. They didn't fly there to work fucking OnlyFans. That's why he bragged about the fact that none of them had a history in the adult entertainment business.
Okay, so these girls were. How did they get there? Do you think some big bodyguard, these security guards that you're talking about, was sitting next to them on the plane with a bag over their head?
No, he probably flew them there because they thought that he loved them.
Oh.
But he did it under false pretenses. Why are you going, oh, that's sex trafficking, my dude?
That's not a threat of violence. That's them being in love. Those are two very different things.
Yeah, initially, when they go there, that's under love. But when they're held there, they were later forced to perform pornographic content under threat of violence. That's what the statement said.
That's what the statement says. We'll see what happens. But there's a big difference between going there against their will every single
Nobody
day,
said they went there against their will.
Smiling professionally in front of a camera.
Yes,
while there's
how sex trafficking works.
While there's a gun pointed behind the computer screen and these girls are there
you don't need a gun pointed there.
That doesn't make any sense, Destiny. That makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, gotcha. Damn, but like Hunter Biden selling secrets around the world trading under Joe Biden's name that we have no evidence for, that makes 100% perfect sense.
When did I say that? When did I say that?
Oh, you don't believe any of the Hunter Biden stuff then? Oh, okay, at least you're consistent.
I believe everything that they hid about the laptop. Of course they did. They didn't want Biden's name to be smeared, so they hid the laptop for sure.
Do you think Biden was trading under his dad's name and performing illegitimate business?
They haven't released all the documents from the laptop yet. Then we'll figure it out.
Oh, okay. So same thing we'll figure it out for Tate too, right? We don't know yet.
We will figure it out, but you're making heavy accusations for a man that everybody's targeting right now. And
I'm not making heavy accusations. I'm just repeating. What have I said that he hasn't said on video or that isn't in that
statement? You're assuming a lot about these women. If you're thinking logically, 75 women under the threat of violence makes no sense.
His own words were that he would get women to fall in love with them. He'd bring them to a dinner with another girl that he's pimping out. He'd get that girl to convince them to do sex work. He would steal from them by lying on their tax forms, and that he would do this to woman after woman. These are all his words. None of that. I'm not even making.
I'm talking about the threat of violence that you keep talking about.
The threat of violence I'm referring to is what was the Romanian police released.
Yeah, I know, but nothing in that story shows that there was an actual threat of violence. That's the serious accusation that you're sticking to.
Yeah.
Sure, the police might be saying that now.
That's what the trial is for.
Okay,
that's what the trial is for.
So we will see. But in what you're describing right now, I don't see at any point where there's a threat of violence. Seems like they were in love and they were competing for their attention. And that's what I've seen.
75 girls were in love and competing for his attention.
Yeah. When I was in Romania, 30 women were in love with Tristan Tate. I did not think it was possible, but seeing them, they all sit there obediently waiting for a drop of their attention. If they could do that same thing professionally with all their time focused on these girls, 100%. I saw it with my own eyes. I've never seen men capable of doing that before. They can have
trafficking women? Bro, go to the hood, find some pimps. People do this all the time. Yeah, pimps do this shit. What do you mean? What you're describing is pimping.
They never hit these women. There was no threat of violence.
Well, maybe you don't know that. They didn't do it in front of you.
You don't know either, but we'll figure out.
I don't, but the difference is I'm agnostic, and you're here saying that you can't even think that's a possibility. I'm the one being honest here. I don't know. It might be that nothing comes of this. That might be the case, but you're here saying, like, it's impossible. It's not impossible. And you still didn't give me a number. How many men would it take to keep 75 women locked in a fucking room doing fucking cam content?
If it comes out that there were armed guards like that were actually blocking that, I can't. But this is a hypothetical that you're trying to get a clip from that I'm not going to answer because it's irrelevant to what the police are talking about.
Gotcha. Right now. So it would be like 4 people. You admit that then. You don't want to give the hypothetical because you know it would be
4 for 75?
Yeah, easy.
4
Maybe 2.
4 for 75? I
Maybe
think they
2.
Can go, okay, 4. They can go home for 4. They can go home for 4.
Two men at the front, big dudes with guns. They're just going to try to walk out? Are they going to make a plan and try to fucking...
Where are these 75? Are they all supervising them when they go to sleep?
They're probably not all working at the same time, but I don't know. They might have a separate sleeping room. I don't know what their setup is like.
Violence, so they're coming in and out. So then one day they go to the coffee shop, they go to the yoga studio. Then on Wednesday, then they go and sell their bodies online.
Bro, if you're stuck in a foreign country, with no fucking money. You might not even speak the language.
Stuck? You can get on a flight.
How do you know?
How do you know?
How do I know? You're the one that's making the accusation. I'm agnostic. I don't know. I'm just going by what the accusations are. You're the one saying it's impossible otherwise.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's extremely likely, and nothing from what I've seen being at their house and nothing about their character points to them threatening women against their will.
Wait, hold on. Did Tate actually say he took their passports?
I don't know.
Hold on. Somebody in chat. Can somebody tell me, did Tate actually say that? He might have said in his own words that he took their passports. Yes, he did say that. Okay, so that's how they can't leave then. He actually takes the passports. And he probably lies and he says it's for tax reasons. I think you're glazing right now, bro.
They could have asked for it back. They kicked out many women. Destiny, do you not hear about the podcast? You have selective hearing. You don't hear about how many times these women were acting up and they kicked him out because they didn't know how to obey?
Yeah, what you just said sounds like sex trafficking, my dude. I don't know how you don't understand that. Like, every time you talk to defend him, it sounds more and more like sex trafficking. Get that many women to obey him and work for him. They all sit there obediently, they don't say anything. That sounds like sex trafficking.
It sounds like they were in love. And
then being used to do sex work. Yeah, and then being used to do sex work that they had no prior history of. That sounds like sex trafficking.
Only stuff behind a camera?
Where they're in a country where they're being stolen from and they're not allowed to leave?
Stolen.
Tate's own word.
Did he ever say that? When did he say the passport thing? Send me the clip where he said that thing about the passport.
Somebody link me the video. Hold on. Give me 1 second. My internet's really slow.
Thanks for the 10, Jeremy. Destiny is now the expert on love when he's getting cooked in the Daily Clown World. Jeremy, Myron already broke down the Romanian press release and proved it's all bullshit. Destiny is the king of cooks. They're calling you a cook. I'm good. Thanks for the 20. I had to buy Dan US mobile number, VPN to able to comment. We don't have this in the release. Thanks, bro.
Wait, this is not.
I never heard that they had passports and they were being held against their will and they couldn't leave the country.
Is there no transcript? Okay, here is this video. If you want, you can watch it or react to this on your stream. It'll be good content. But this guy goes over all over. Andrew Tate is talking about how he does the. This
Chad,
is how I
that
steal
true
from them
about
the
the
taxes.
passport?
Yeah.
Is that true that
I don't have a transcript for this, so I can't go through it. But I know in this video he talks about the tax records and everything.
Yo,
100%.
DGG, did he genuinely steal passports and prevent them from leaving the country? I don't know where you're getting this.
Someone in chat said it. I remember hearing the tax thing. I don't remember hearing of the passport thing, but the tax thing and the stealing from people is definitely in here. One second.
And then also someone in my chat said Tate started the cam business in London, so that the idea he had to fly one out to some shady country to chain them up for his business model work is BS. Yeah, how did he bring them all from London to Romania?
By flying them? What do you mean?
Okay, so so now they do have their passports? How are you going from London to Romania without a passport?
I mean, if you're taking the passport, you probably do it after they landed.
This
is how passport traps work. Do you know how they get workers in Dubai to fly over there and take their passports? Have you never heard of passport trap? It happens in the United States as well.
Like bullshit. You're doing
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Destiny,
this doesn't happen
you're such
ever.
a rat when you debate, Destiny.
Yeah, doesn't happen ever.
You just bring up
for
points,
sure.
Destiny.
Okay.
Such a rat when you debate. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see at the end of this.
What are you gonna do though? Because if he ends up, if he is guilty of all of this, what are you gonna do? Like, because you're hanging your whole reputation out here on a guy that you have no clue about, that you're willing to go to bat for completely.
What do you mean I have no clue about him?
You don't know anything about this. You probably talked to him like 7 times in his life. You stayed over 1 time. How do you know this guy well enough to know whether or not he was involved in trafficking or not? You have no idea.
I know.
Or actually, it sounds like you think he was involved in trafficking. You just don't think it was
questions, and then you don't, and then you move on to a point, right? I stayed at his house for about a week. I know his brother very well. We've spoken extensively. We speak on WhatsApp pretty regularly before they arrested him. And nothing points to that he would do something like that. So I'm going to go off the character. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't believe that he's a bad person. I don't believe that he would be like the villain that they're trying to paint him out to be. I've seen what they accuse him of April. This woman lied. She was there. Like, she was able to leave whenever she wanted. Her boyfriend caught her cheating, and they called the embassy. It was all debunked. They have it all on CCTV cameras. And I know even Georgiana, their assistant that was there working from the cam girl days, they've been very open about it, and nothing points to it being sex trafficking. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if it does come out that they try to get it for something like fraud or whatever the fuck they're accusing him of, I don't think that they're consistent with the people that they prosecute. The fact that Sam Bankman-Fried is outside after stealing billions of dollars, and they're targeting this guy.
Why do you talk about another guy? That's a completely different thing. It's a different country with different rules. I don't know why you.
My point is that the governments and all the police departments, they pick and choose who they want to prosecute.
But I thought the reason why he went to Romania is because they don't do that over there. Why are they doing that in Romania now?
Doing what in Romania?
I thought the whole reason he went to Romania is because they don't do those types of things, where they pick and choose to prosecute people based on SJWs.
Well, look, it was an American girl that came over there that was in the house, and they called the embassy for. So, look, woke culture is infiltrating even Eastern Europe.
Okay. So, no matter what happens, it's always going to be like the woke people are getting you somewhere, even if it's in fucking Eastern Europe. Is he going to be streaming in Ghana after this, or is he going to Sudan, or where can you get away from the woke culture? Is it everywhere?
Seems like Dubai is pretty good. I think personally he should have stayed there, but they were always bound to get somebody of that level of influence and who's talking against everything that you talk about. They have to take him down. But
gotcha.
You will always be.
So Romania, with a prosecutor that's well known for going after people relating to sex trafficking stuff. This guy is actually he's just there because he's trying to get rid of the wokeness that. Or he's trying to fight for the wokeness that Andrew Tate is trying to take from the world. That's what's all of this is just.
What was your question? What was that?
Everything you just said is just. There's like always an excuse or a reason, right? Like the whole reason why he went to Romania was to get away from this, and they're saying, "Oh no, you can't get away from it." Like what? Maybe the simpler explanation.
There's places where you can avoid it more than other places.
Maybe the simpler explanation is he's just like a sex trafficker
under his control to leave his complex. What was it? Play that video.
I couldn't listen to it. I didn't hold on.
Tate says he does more of the work. The women don't know. Hold on. Andrew Tate says he does more of the work. The women don't know nothing. He tells the girl what to do on camera because he knows what men want. Fine. All right, let's talk tomorrow about the vaccine, man. I'm tired,
sure.
Okay, gotcha. Wait, what were you talking about? I wanted to. You were talking about me and Myron about something like we were able to have healthy debates and still be chummy afterwards. You wanted to start a live podcast?
I never said that. That'd be funny as fuck, though.
I said it in your description.
Description to what?
No, the description of that video. What's your prediction? So you seem the point where I could see this being a problem is like if he is prosecuted and he gets in a lot of trouble, then me putting my reputation on the line. Do you think that I shouldn't defend somebody who I consider to be a friend?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. Well, if something happened to you and I didn't believe it, then I would defend you as well. I consider you a friend.
You shouldn't. You don't know me that well.
I know you pretty well compared to most people. I talk to you more than I talk to a lot. Yeah, I talk to you.
Yeah, but you still don't know. I could have like a fucking a harem full of like fucking underage dogs in my fucking apartment that I fuck in the background for. Like,
right, but nothing about your character, nothing from what I've seen talking to you points to that. So if
I was engaged in criminal behavior, I wouldn't be showing you that shade of myself, though, right? You know, I could be committing crazy tax fraud or going out and like killing homeless people or some shit. You don't
tax fraud, whatever.
You know, it's not like I would be like hanging out with you like, yeah, man, I just like love killing homeless people. Like I'm fucking American Psycho or some shit, right? I just think like if you're gonna vouch for somebody, what you're doing is what you're essentially saying is that like, listen, this guy's having a credibility crisis right now because he's being accused of some shit, and I'm gonna lend my credibility to him. I wouldn't lend my credibility unless I knew the person really fucking well. Like I would trust that person over anything else, right? I would trust my wife. Like I would, if she got accused of shit, I'd 100%. I'd be like, yeah, I'm ride or die, of course. I have a couple friends that I would trust, but not just any random fucking internet acquaintance. That's something I've only talked to like 10 or 20 times. You have no idea because that's your credibility.
Yeah, but everybody's dogpiling right now. Everybody's trying to ruin the reputation.
So what? You just want to do the opposite because you want to be like a fucking disruptor?
I don't want to be the opposite, but they're lying. They're lying on his name. They're bringing up all these false claims.
Yeah, then fight against the lies.
I am fighting against the lies. I talk about that pizza nonsense that all your friends brought up all these times. Preach.
Then just focus on the pizza nonsense. But you don't know if he's.
I focus on a lot of things. They're talking about the fact that he had consensual role play where they were being hit with belts, and then they've been on camera saying that I was actually consenting to this completely, and then they're still saying that he beats women. So I'm openly trying to defend somebody who has been helpful to a lot of young men right now in a time where it's really necessary for that message to be heard. And so the same thing goes for anybody that I listen to, or anybody that I talk to, or anybody that I consider to be a friend. I would defend them if they're getting dogpiled by everybody right now. Everybody, especially in your space, was so quick to celebrate, was so quick to like fucking believe this bullshit about pizza boxes. Fucking idiots like Penguin Zero, because they don't know anything and they hate this person. And
yeah, but you guys do the same thing about every fucking Democrat that gets accused of fucking anything. Look at how many people you guys say are pedophiles because they like went to Epstein's Island, but for some reason you guys never make the same accusation of Trump. Or look at how anytime something about Hunter Biden comes up,
I bring it up how he should not have been buddy with Epstein. There's many pictures of him. I'm critical of that too. I'm not.
Okay,
I don't pick and choose my human trafficking. You know who do?
Okay.
Like
that's cool.
The people on the left. The people on the left pick and choose. They don't give a fuck about the black book of Epstein's Island.
The left and right.
They never talk about it.
Shit.
They
the
never
left
talk
and
about
right
it.
both pick and choose.
Where's their
crazy
demand for the black book on Epstein's Island? But they're so quick to talk about Tate.
Well, right now they're being talked about Tate because Tate has done every possible thing he can to put a target on his back. He went to an Eastern European country and openly and brazenly bragged about engaging in fucking sex trafficking in a country that's trying to clean its shit up. No shit he's going to get the IRA. They literally have
no evidence of this. There's no evidence at all.
So the arrest warrant and all of that was just all fabricated. It was just on air. They just did it for whatever.
What's the hard evidence, Destiny?
I don't know. I'm not a prosecutor.
Then there you go. Then stay agnostic if you don't know. There's no actual evidence.
I am agnostic. You're the one that's not. Why do you keep trying to steal my position?
I say stay
agnostic. You're not agnostic, though. I am agnostic. I'm saying there's a possibility. You're saying, no, I know his character. There's no chance. Do you want to admit right now, could there be a chance?
Obviously, there's a possibility that he can go to jail. But
no,
I will continue to defend.
I'm asking if there's a possibility he's a sex trafficker.
I don't think so.
No, I didn't ask if you think so. Why are you being so weaselly? I'm asking if there's a possibility of it. Is there a possibility that the fact of the matter is that he's a sex trafficker? Is there a possibility?
I would be a fool. If it comes out true and there's hardcore evidence and he was actually a violent sex trafficker, I would be a fool.
Okay, you're so weaselly, but I mean
What's
that's cool. I
Weasley?
understand.
You're asking me to
want to
give
answer
you
the question.
specific
No,
clues. I gave
I'm
it to
asking you a very simple question, but I think you think you're gonna get clipped or something, which is fine. You don't have to answer it, but just be like, oh, I don't want to answer that.
I just
okay. My
answered
question is it possible? The fact of the matter is that he's a sex trafficker. Is that possible?
Of course, there's a possible I am. There's a possibility that you are too.
Oh my God.
There's a possibility. Anybody, even in your chat, even the DGG or nerds with blue hair, even if we could all be. I don't know. There's a possibility that you're killing homeless people, like you said, bro. Of course, there's a possibility. That's a stupid question.
Okay, I agree. Well, hey, if we agree there, then I guess we agree on everything.
Well, you asked the question. You're calling it stupid now.
I didn't call it stupid. I think it's cool if you're honest and you admit that it's all a possibility. All right, that's good.
All right, tomorrow, what time? Let's watch that Sun to fix your bot internet.
Okay, be careful. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
WRL chat. Yo, make sure Destiny's fucking editor. Make sure I look good in that thumbnail. Myron already broke down the Romanian press release, but it was all bullshit. Destiny's the king of cocks.